Your Beatitude, Cardinal Sako, we're honoured and delighted that at last you're able to make a pastoral visit to our land, England. And especially that you've been able during that visit to make your private pilgrimage to the shrine of St. John Henry Newman, and today here to the shrine of Our Lady, the sanctuary of Our Lady of Walsingham.
It's our joy to host you here, your Beatitude, and to also your entourage, Bishop Basil, and the head of the Chaldean mission in the UK, Father Andrew Thomas.
Well, thank you so much. The honor is mine, and this visit was like a pilgrimage, in a Newman shrine in Birmingham, and here it was a very strong moment of meditation and prayer, and we are back to the sources of our faith. Yeah. And as a head of a Chaldean church, the Chaldean church, but also in the same time I am the father, so I have to visit our community all over the world to confirm them in their faith, and also to let them not to forget that their roots, their roots to their mother church, the Chaldean church, but also to their land, the history, and also everything. And here in Great Britain, we have an elite of Iraqis. They lived for many years, so they are doctors or commerciants or businessmen. I was very moved by their attachment to their church. So I celebrated the Mass in a large church. The church was full of faithful, Chaldean faithful. And what we need from them is, to keep this link with their mother church.
Your Beatitude, where does the true future of the Chaldean Church rest?
Well, in Iraq, until now, the majority is in Baghdad, but also in Basra, in Amara cities, in Kirkuk, and mainly in Erbil and Kurdistan. We have, with the Patriarchate, we have 10 dioceses, small or big dioceses or archdioceses. And we are all the bishops and with me are trying to keep our people busy and also hoping for a better future. And I am sure the future will be different from this situation, and the future will be much better than now.
And what do you need in order to keep the Christians in Iraq?
What we need is, the proximity of our sisters and brothers Christians in the West, and also there's solidarity to support Christians there, and to support them morally, humanly, and spiritually, especially because in Iraq and other Oriental countries, the system is tribal, but Christians do not have tribals, but they have only the church. So their force is the church. If they have something, is the church. The real shelter for them is the church. What we need is this proximity, closeness, but also to support. Visiting them and stay with them for a while and to see their situation, to give them more hope, to raise their spirit. That is what we need.
Does the constitution and legal system facilitate their survival and their equal citizenship?
Therefore, also, the main visit was one of the topics of my visit is to meet the political leaders to ask them to push the Iraqi government, but also other governments, to respect human rights. Human rights will be not respected unless we have, a modern state, a state of citizenship and not sectarian. All Iraqis are citizens. They should have the same duties and the same rights. We are all Iraqis. We belong to the same land, to the same country, and Iraq should be the house of all Iraqis. Nevertheless, their appartenance, belonging to a religion or to ethnicity, and we are all brothers and sisters. And the Pope, during his visit, focused on that. We are brothers. We have to respect the diversity.
So what were the consequences of the papal visit on overall society in Iraq, in particular the Shiite community?
Yeah, before, he encouraged Christians to stay and to hope, not be, disappointed or to leave, and they have a vocation there. This is not by the way. This is the plan of God. We are in Iraq, and we are one of the oldest church in the history, and we are the roots of Christianity. We are Chaldeans, but others, Syriacs, Maronites, and other Oriental churches. So we are there as a very necessary component, and also a component, a national component. And he visited, the Shiite, Sistani, the Grand Ayatollah Sistani, and the visit was very, very important and fruitful, because Sistani said to Pope, we are, as Muslims, a part of you Christians, and you are a part of us. So that means, in other words, we are brothers. Pope was always saying we are brothers. Sistani said we are brothers also. And for me, that phrase was like a fatwa. Fatwa is a juridical statement. And the population was very touched by this, and a big impact on them. And now they are respecting Christians. Nobody is bothering them. Among the population, the problem is political. The policy is sectarian, and corruption is everywhere.
Would it be helpful if the UK government, in partnership with maybe some Catholic agencies, were to invite yourself with other religious leaders and possibly Iraqi government politicians to come to England on an official visit to see how the different faiths cohabit peaceably together with equal citizenship?
Maybe there are two ways, to influence the political leaders, but also church leaders. Maybe at the beginning you can invite, deputies or prime minister or the speaker of the parliament, and to speak to them directly here, a kind of symposium or, a conference on how to develop Iraq, how to help Iraq to be a real state with its own sovereignty. Then to speak about conviviality, with the religious leaders. Maybe after that, a visit from United Kingdom, a delegation of you know, political leaders and also religious leaders to come there to meet also politicians, but also religious leaders, and also to meet people, simple people, to ask them, what do you want, how are you living, what is your challenges, your problems, and then a real, a real program of changing, for better will start. I mean, this is, I think, what we call step to work together. Now the church is walking together with synodality. We cannot stay stable in one place or one people. So I think politicians also should work together for the benefit of the whole humanity. Where there is peace in Middle East, it will be peace in other countries. So, and we can give a lot to the church, because our spirituality, our liturgies, our theology, and it is a richness for the whole church. And also we have many goods to give to the West, oil and other products. So that should be really in a civilized way, and not always tensions and conflicts and dead people. That is a pity.
How hopeful are you for the future of your church in Iraq?
I am hopeful not only for the church but also for Iraqi people. The evil doesn't remain impossible. The good is a little bit slow, but it remains. It remains. And this kind of situation cannot continue on. There will be a change, a positive change, and the population cannot support that. And they started in 2019 with the opposition or the manifestation of young people looking for, we need a home or land home, and the future will be better, but we have, to have patience, Christians and others, also to fight for a better situation and also a secular state.
And how best can the NGOs, charities, agencies here help you?
In this period, I think it is very important to find little projects in the villages, Nineveh Plain, but other villages in the north, Kurdistan, just to keep Christian busy and hoping. For instance, to promote agriculture with wells and so on. To open a dispensary in around 2, 3, 4 little villages, and also something like that. A kindergarten or something like that, a school, or a fabric, a small fabric for water, to sell water, or to prepare foods to sell them for restaurants and so on. I helped 2, 3 families to do, foods at home and to sell them for restaurants. I afford them machines and so on.
One of the problems here we find is there's a lack of awareness amongst clergy and laity of the Eastern Catholic churches. I mean, of course, your church is in full union with our Bishop of Rome. And it's a mission to try and raise their awareness. It would be wonderful if there could be twinning between dioceses and parishes. How do you feel about that?
I feel bad, really. The division of Christians is a scandal for Christians. we should find or refine our unity. The world changed. Now the world is becoming like a digital village, and the mentality changed. And I think we have, to find ways to dialogue and to become also one real church as it was in the beginning. And also in the Middle East, we are Oriental churches. All of us are apostolic churches. So the faith is the same. Mainly the liturgy is the same, and the same sacrament, the same creed. We are small churches. Just we are like, little shops here and there. We have no future if we are not united.
What do you think we Western Christians can learn from you Eastern Christians, in particular the Chaldeans?
I think two things. The first one is, about the family, the relationships with the member of family. The family in Iraq and Chaldean Church is very close to each other, and if someone is working and others not, all are eating and using the money of him, and they should have patience if there are problems, not go immediately to divorce or so. We have to learn that. We have to think of the benefit or the future of the children. To leave children alone without father or without mother, this is very bad. We as Oriental churches, we cannot live without the family. Even we as clergy, we have our families. We breathe the same air in our family. But also the faith, Christian values, moral values, and also human values. We should keep them. Otherwise, what? There will be, no dimension for human being. I am a human being only to work and to eat, to sleep, then I am dying. What for? If I am created as a human being and I am a member of a big family or small family, I think I have to think about them and not be selfish, and also just to live for myself and nothing else. I think this is a kind of death. But when we are thinking about of others and helping them and to be close to them, to show them our love and to serve them, this is, a kind of eternity. In the Holy Gospel, eternity is linked to the love of the others. I mean, the memory and the enthusiasm to serve others, to help them, and when we lose this memory and this ideal, we are dying. Our body is a mechanism. Maybe our body can live some years, but no life. No life. The real life is what I am doing for others, the relationship with others, and not to live in selfish way for myself, only myself as an individual. We are linked with others. The society or the churches is members, so we are responsible of each other.
Yeah. One of the things that strikes me about Eastern Christians, but in particular Chaldeans, is their joyfulness.
Yeah.
In the liturgy, they radiate this joy, And I see it in their relationship with you. All these experiences the past week, the joy that they have for their beloved Patriarch.
Yeah.
We don't have that kind of joy. We're by comparison. Where does that joy come from?
It comes from Christ. Our crosses in the church are empty without body. This is the sign of resurrection and of hope, because we were always persecuted before Islam, during Islam, and until now. And when we are celebrating the liturgy is a big feast, so a lot of joy, and people are sharing with hymns, psalms, and a lot of a big participation. And the Holy Father, when he came to Iraq, he admired the participation of the assembly. And many times after the Mass, we are going to the hall and taking something to eat together. But the meeting, so we are meeting in the church, but also meeting outside the church. It is an occasion, opportunity for people to meet each other and to know each other better, to ask each other what are the hopes, but the fears. And always after the Mass, I am at the end, I am asking people, what do you think? What do you have? If you have questions, have problems, tell me. I can help you. I will do it, and so. So we are very close to each other. The mentality in the Orient is communionship. Here is individualism, and this is bad. This is bad. When we are living together, we are very strong. But when I am only alone, living in a flat, what is that?
And this wonderful hopefulness that Eastern Christians often have, and I've witnessed it with your flock. Does that flow from the joy, or is it a separate thing to the joy?
No, the joy, our joy is based on a life of Christ. I mean, Christ, like us, suffered, he was rejected and so on, but at the end, he was risen. So our joy comes from resurrection, and the meaning of resurrection is very strong in our spirituality and liturgy. I explained to you this morning about the host. I broke it into two pieces. That means the death of Christ, and put them together with the wine and lift them up. This is the symbol of Christ, risen Christ, saying, "Don't be afraid." And we think Christ is risen. So I think our joy is linked to our faith, but also to our families and our community. We feel we are encouraged by them, and we are not alone, and we are together, and what we have, good or bad, we are facing it together, and so we are not isolated. This is bad, to be isolated or forgotten. And a journalist, a French journalist, made me a long interview and a book, and the title was "Don't Forget Us."
Well, we certainly won't.
Yeah, thank you.
And we'll continue to pray for you.
Thank you so much.
Your Beatitude, you've come here to Walsingham intentionally. It's England's national shrine of Our Lady. What will you take away from your time here in Walsingham?
For us, Virgin Mary is the mother of the church. So the mother, not of the walls of the church, I mean the building, the mother of a real church, the faithful. So it is my mother, and I feel that she is present in my life. When Jesus told John, the beloved John, this is your mother. Through John, he's saying to me, to you, to John, Mary is your mother. So we feel that really our mother is not far away from us, is also helping us and is inspiring us when we are in some shrines or there is a celebration of Virgin Mary. We think that this celebration is of our spiritual mother.
John, you're here as chair and trustee of FACE Charity. Can you tell us what FACE is?
Well, FACE is the acronym for its real name, Fellowship and Aid to the Christians of the East, whose mission, which by the way is under the patronage of Cardinal Michael Fitzgerald, the mission is to serve and support Eastern Christians, and we do that through projects in healthcare, education, pastoral support and reconstruction, largely projects under the patronage of the Eastern Catholic Patriarchs and the other sui juris Catholic churches. And it's been going now for about 5-6 years. I started the thing up originally with exclusively that mission, but in fundraising I quickly realized that the great mass of Catholic faithful in this country, clergy and laity, had a limited understanding of the Eastern Christians, well, even indeed the Eastern Catholic churches. So we realized that we needed to expand the mission to find ways and means to raise the awareness of Eastern Christians, and in particular our brothers and sisters in the wider Catholic Church, the Eastern Catholic churches, which are all 23 of which are in full communion with the Bishop of Rome. And one of the ways we do that is by having webinars with the heads of the churches. We had a webinar with Cardinal Sako 2 years ago, and we've brought the Maronite Patriarch here in January, and I'm so happy that we've been able at last to bring His Beatitude, Cardinal Sako, here to England on what is his first ever pastoral visit to our land.
John, thank you. Your Beatitude, thank you for coming and blessing us by your presence here in Walsingham. We hold your mission in our prayers and wish you well for the future.
Thank you so much.